The 2024 Formula One season saw a very dramatic and exciting conclusion at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, with Red Bull Racing's Max Verstappen claiming his fourth career World Drivers' Championship, with Lando Norris of McLaren and Charles Leclerc of Ferrari rounding out the top three. McLaren as a team secured their ninth Constructors' title thanks to consistent finishes from Norris and his teammate from Down Under, Oscar Piastri, with Red Bull Racing finishing third behind Ferrari. While many teams were celebrating their successes and looking forward to what 2025 has in store for them, this season unfortunately marked the end for Connersport Butler Global Racing. Just a few days after the season ended, now former team principal Devin Butler announced that his team will not be returning to the grid next season due to the board of sponsors pulling the financial plug. That left the biggest question in the F1 community. What will happen to the two young rising drivers Aiden Jackson and Callie Mayer? That question was answered quickly when American Daniel Haight, a former multi-time F1 World Drivers Champion and now full-time owner of the newly formed Bengal F1 Racing, reached out to Devin and agreed to bring Aiden and Callie back into the fold. But that wasn't the only driver swaps making F1 news. Seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton will be partnering with Charles Leclerc at Scuderia Ferrari, while Carlos Sainz moves over to Williams to team up with Alexander Albon. With Hamilton's departure from Mercedes-AMG, Toto Wolff announced that the young Italian Andrea Kimi Antonelli will drive alongside British upstart George Russell. Also, the other American team, Haas F1, have a fresh pair of drivers by the way of Esteban Ocon and another young British sensation, Oliver Bearman. Finally, two young South American drivers will be making their F1 debut. Gabriel Bortoleto of Brazil will partner up with the German vet Nico Hülkenberg at Kick Sauber, and Franco Colapinto of Argentina will drive alongside the Frenchman Pierre Gasly at Alpine. What will await the F1 universe as the first race of the 2025 season is just days away?
As the owner of the newest team in F1, your first job should be introducing yourself to the team.
Yes, a new era is upon us. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to F1 25 My Team Career Mode, and this is where we begin a new journey in leading Bengal F1 Racing towards the World Drivers and Constructors Championships. Before we dive in, a couple of disclaimers I want to get out of the way. First is that although the 2026 DLC content is available to play in this game cycle, the two drivers I'm picking for this save is only available in the base game and can't be carried over into the DLC pack. So that's why we're going the route of playing the vanilla My Team. Second, I apologize for not completing the F1 2020 My Team Career Mode, as my full-time job has taken precedence and a lot of my mental energy. So now that that's all out of the way, let's get started. As you begin a new career save, the first thing you'll be asked to do is create a character to represent you, the team owner player. Now, let's meet the heads of our departments.
Hey there, my name's Andrew. I'm your head of personnel. It'd be useful for the team to know a bit more about your background. Give them a sense of how you intend to lead our efforts.
So that was Andrew Lung, the head of our new personnel department, and I'll get more in depth on the changes to the My Team HQ a bit later. Right now, we have a choice of 3 different backgrounds, and they are People Manager, Head Engineer, and Chief Financial Officer, and it will give you one of the initial skills to start. As it says on screen for the Head Manager background, every organization is made up of people, and managing people has been your specialty ever since you started climbing the ladder. You know that the team is only as good as the people in it, and are committed to empowering and developing your staff to allowing them to reach their full potential. Your skills in this area will allow you to motivate your workforce to complete facility improvements quicker. So if you select this background, it will take less time to complete facility improvements, and you'll also start with the personnel focus skill. Next is the Chief Engineer, and as it says, you might suffer the boardroom and the politics, but the garage has always been where you felt the most at home. Your team's success will be measured on the track, making this endeavor primarily an engineering challenge, and you've always loved those. Your experience and knowledge in that field will pay great dividends given the nature of the team and its goals. Your expertise in this area allows you to earn more resource points per week. So this background is geared towards increasing the amount of resource points you earn. Plus, you get the engineering focus skill. Finally, the Chief Financial Officer. No F1 team can survive without a sound grasp of the financials, and your skill at juggling not just the numbers, but the relationships, the politics, the ebb and flow of negotiation is renowned throughout the industry. You're not just managing a team, you're managing a brand, idea, a legacy even, and you're determined that it be remembered. Your judicious accounting allows you to earn more cash per week. So this skill is geared towards generating more weekly income from your sponsors, which you can then use to spend on facility improvements and things. Plus, you'll start with a corporate focus skill. And the choice that I will go for is the people manager background so that we can hit the ground running on facility improvements. So Andrew, what else do you want to know from us?
And tell us a bit about this HQ. How well developed are the facilities here ahead of our debut season?
Next, we will determine how well our 3 departments are invested in, and your choices are basic, advanced, and extensive. If you start with basic, you'll have the starting minimum workforce for your engineering, personnel, and corporate departments, with all 3 starting in Phase 1 with no initial upgrades. In this case, you would be building this team from the ground up and investing a lot of time and money. Choosing the advanced option will put you somewhere close to where a midfield team would be in terms of the size of the workforce and initial upgrades. Plus, all 3 would be in the beginning stages of Phase 2. And finally, the extensive choice will put you right up against the top teams like McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes. You'll have a big size workforce, lots of initial upgrades, and be in the mid to late stages of Phase 2. For us, we're going to build this team from the ground up and make the big decisions in terms of what upgrades the departments will get, as I will be selecting the basic option. Now, let's meet the head of our engineering department.
Hello, Mathis, head of your engineering facility. Let's discuss where we think we are in terms of car performance.
And that was Mathis Hartman, the head of our engineering department. Just like for the facility development, we'll now get to choose how much of the car has been upgraded over the team initialization period. We can choose from either none, some, or extensive. Choosing none will put you at the bottom of the development comparison chart, and you will have to rely on your driver's skills to drag the car up through the field during the Grand Prix weekend. Selecting some will put your car right in the midfield pack, with the development scale skewing slightly in favor of the powertrain and chassis to help power the car through corner exit and down the straights. Extensive will put your car right in contention to challenge the top teams all race long, with again the initial development scale skewing slightly in favor of the powertrain, chassis, and the durability sections. The choice I will be selecting is none, and I'll be developing the car from scratch. Finally, let's meet the head of the corporate department.
Hey boss, I'm Anissa. I head things up in your corporate facility. Let's discuss our financial situation.
That's Anissa Amin, and she will come to us if anything comes up in terms of new sponsorships or financial situations that needs our attention. This is where we get to set our starting cash amount plus how much of a corporate income bonus we will get. The choices available to us are none, some reserves, and significant reserves. Choosing none means that all of the initial budget for the team has gone to get it up and running in terms of hiring the required minimum staff plus building the facilities, and will have to rely on weekly sponsorship income to keep the team afloat until investments in facility improvements can be made. Choosing the some reserves option will give you an initial starting cash amount of $2.5 million, and you'll get a 25% bonus to the corporate income. With this option, you'll be able to make a small investment into improving the departments at the beginning. Since I'm a former F1 driver in this alternate F1 universe, I was able to save up a lot of earned cash through sponsorships, contracts with F1 teams, and also NIL deals. So after getting the team set up, hiring the required minimum staff, and building the facilities, I have $7.5 million left in the funds. My corporate partners like that I'm still in the green, and because of that, they will reward me with a 50% corporate income bonus. Alright Andrew, what's next on the list of things to get done?
Right. With all that out of the way, our next task is to finalize our team's visual identity, our official name and branding.
And as I said earlier, our team name will be Bango F1 Racing. In case you're wondering why I chose this team name, it's mainly to pay homage to the high school I graduated from. And the colors that I'm choosing is also in homage to it as well. Gold, black, and orange. Next is to design the team badge, and the one that I've chosen is what you saw at the beginning of this video, which is a black circle with a two-tone gold-colored wreath inside. Anissa, is there anything else to get done in corporate?
Next up, there's an amount of contract work we need to get nailed down. First, we need to settle on our title sponsor. This will represent a key source of income over the coming season. We have a few potential sponsors lined up. Each contract splits our income in 3 ways. A signing bonus that we receive now, a weekly income paid over the course of the season, and finally, a bonus at the end of the season, if we achieve the goals set out in the contract.
Alright, we're now into the heart of setting up the team, and our first task here, as Anissa just pointed out, is to select a main title sponsor, and we have 3 to choose from, which are Xenon, X4MiG, and Seren. Each of them have different signing bonuses, weekly income, and different payouts for completing their seasonal goals. Selecting Xenon will give you just under $8.1 million up front, with a weekly income of $525,000. If you manage to score 10 constructor points during the season, then they will reward you $6 million at season's end. Their core value is innovation and technology. So basically, they want you to focus on facility improvements throughout the season. X4MiG pays out $20,000 less than Xenon up front, but still a good amount of money, but they'll give you more in weekly income in the amount of $562,500. Their payout goal of finishing 10th or better in the Constructors' Championship is $190,000 less compared to Xenon's seasonal goal, and their core value is performance excellence, meaning that they want you to focus on developing the car. Finally, we have Seren. Their upfront payment is $120,000 less than Xenon. Their goal of scoring 5 constructor points in a season is $500,000 less on the seasonal goal, but they do offer the highest weekly income out of the 3 at $581,250. Seren's core value is fan engagement, meaning that they want us to focus on activities and stuff to boost our relationship with the F1 fans. When you do select a title sponsor, you can get more general information about them before you commit to signing on the dotted line. Now keep in mind that all of the sponsors in the game that you choose, primary and secondary, are fictional. So let's take a look at the background info on Seren as an example. In 1711, Martin Seren founded Seren, starting as a goldsmith bank in Queens, New York. By 1947, with an expansion to multiple locations in New York, Seren evolved into a recognized banking institution. Today, Seren is a national bank with a significant presence, boasting branches in every major city across America. Now Nissa will tell us about the sponsor loyalty feature in this game.
This is our title sponsor, which are responsible for the bulk of our team's income. While much of that income is paid weekly, a large part is dependent upon us meeting our contractual obligations and hitting our seasonal goal. As we develop our relationship with this sponsor, we'll increase their loyalty, which over time can result in further benefits. That said, as our team's fan rating grows, we may be able to attract more valuable title sponsors. So, knowing when to prioritize building loyalty over the financial benefits of a more lucrative sponsor is something we'll need your guidance on.
So here, you can view what you'll unlock when you reach a certain loyalty level with that title sponsor. They can vary from different decal designs, more owner experience, a new corporate activity on the calendar, and more weekly income from that sponsor. And how fitting that my team is based here in the United States, so what could be better than to have a fictional American financial institution as our main title sponsor? So that's who I'm going to sign. Now let's turn it over to Mathis for our next task, the engine supplier.
Secondly, we have to make a call on which engine supplier we want to work with this season. Generally speaking, our choices can be defined as a trade-off between performance and durability, with the caveat that neither come cheap.
Next, we'll have to select from one of 4 engine suppliers, and they are Renault E-Tech, Red Bull Powertrains, Mercedes, and Ferrari. Renault E-Tech is the cheapest at $1.9 million, but their performance and durability stats are relatively low at 81 and 75. Red Bull Powertrains is $800,000 more expensive than Renault, but their performance and durability is better at 86 and 84. Mercedes engines are $100,000 more expensive than Red Bull, and even though they have the same performance stat as them, they have the highest overall durability at 92. The Ferrari engine is the most expensive at $3.3 million. Even though they have the highest performance stat at 90, their durability is 1 point less than Mercedes. So in the end, we're going for durability over performance and selecting the Mercedes power unit. Now, we turn it over to Andrew for the drivers.
And finally, let's talk drivers. Obviously, we need 2 of them. So let's start with our first one. Each driver's performance is measured in a number of ways. Experience counts for a lot, and drivers with more on-track experience will have an advantage over less experienced competitors. Racecraft describes a driver's ability to work their way through the pack to finish the race higher up than where they started. Awareness represents the driver's skill at avoiding the steward's room. The higher this stat, the less likely they are to pick up warnings and penalties. Pace is a measure of sheer speed. Outside of battling their opponents, how good are they at pulling out consistent fast laps? All these stats contribute to the driver's overall rating, while focus represents their current state of mind and how well they're leveraging their rating out on track.
And now we get to select who will be driving for our team, and as mentioned in the intro, we are bringing back into the fold Aiden Jackson and Callie Mayer, who unfortunately had to be let go due to what happened to Connersport Butler Global Racing's financial situations. And because of that, the now former team principal Devin Butler had to dissolve the team. A little bit of side info for those of you that are not up to speed with the F1 game franchise. Aiden and Callie are part of a 3-part story mode series called Breaking Point. And for this My Team Career Save, we're going to fictionally continue where Breaking Point Part 3 left off. So here are the terms and conditions Devin has laid out. As the CEO of Butler Global, his company will driver sponsor the two of them. The terms that I, the team owner and principal, must meet is to have either Aiden or Callie win the Drivers' Championship, and the team as a whole must win the Constructors' Championship. And with that all done and out of the way, it's now time for the moment you've all been waiting for, the car reveal. And for that, let's now join Natalie Pinkham and Naomi Schiff.
Hello and welcome to this very special live stream. Great to be with you all because today we're going to witness history.
That's absolutely right, Natalie, because for so many years we've wondered exactly what 11 teams would look like on the grid. Guess what? Today is the day we find out.
And we are here at the team's state-of-the-art HQ. We'll be seeing their brand new car very soon, but behind every team, behind every car, there's one person central to it all.
Yes, and they're a really popular character up and down the paddock with great energy and years of experience in managing people to success. The question is, how will they balance that arm around the shoulder approach, all whilst having to deliver performance on track?
And we'll be seeing more behind the scenes as the season progresses. But of course, it is all about what happens on track. So without further ado, let's see the fruits of their labor, the brand new 2025 car.
Well, thank you all for joining us. The team have done an incredible job. The car looks sensational.
It certainly does. Congratulations and all the very best for the season ahead.
And here it is, our 2025 main livery for the car. With gold being the primary color, large lines of orange tapering up and in on the upper nose section at the front of the halo, plus swooping back to the rear of the engine cover and diffuser. I've also gone with very thin lines of black running at the top of the engine cover along the sides of the hood scoop, and also the sides of the front wing slats flaring towards the end plates. Sort of like giving it very subtle tiger stripes. As for the primary fire suits Aiden and Callie will sport, I've gone for gold at the upper area from the shoulders and upper torso down to the arms, black from the mid-torso down to the feet, and an orange trim stripe as the black and gold transition, and down the sides of the legs. Now we can officially enter the 2025 off-season.
Welcome to your Team HQ. This is the hub of the team's operations, and it's probably worth having a look around, familiarizing yourself with the different areas you'll be responsible for directing. You can use these options to navigate around your HQ. Keep an eye out for notifications. I think Madison Engineering was looking for you earlier, and they were asking for you in corporate as well. You should catch up with them before we proceed further. Oh, and as you look around, keep an eye out for this message. It appears wherever you can summon more information. It's a very useful reference if you want to start digging into the finer detail of how the team functions.
And this is where we will be before the start of a Grand Prix weekend. The first thing I'll do now is head up to corporate and check in with Anissa to see what needs to be done there.
Hello, boss, and welcome to corporate. This is the hub for the team's finances, our corporate identity, and for our ongoing sponsor relations. Speaking of which, it's important to ensure that our new sponsors are reflected in our team's livery before we head to the first race weekend. Select customization, and let's go finalize the livery design. From here, select race gear. We want to focus on the car, so select the car option. This is where you can define the look of your car, liveries, driver number, and sponsor decals. Right now, we're focused on sponsors, so let's select this option. This is the decal editor, where you can apply sponsor decals to your car. Part of what we do here in corporate is build up our family of sponsors. So, over time, we'll have more of them to display on the car. The more secondary sponsors you feature on the car, the more money we'll make. But be aware there are diminishing returns. Use this selector to focus on different areas of the car and start adding some sponsor decals.
Alright, time to get down to the nitty-gritty. After 5 years of when the My Team Career Mode was introduced in the F1 game franchise, we now finally have the freedom to fully customize how the sponsor decals on the car will look. Not only are the sponsors fictional in the game, but who you get in your initial secondary sponsor pool are also randomized. And as you're seeing a time-lapse of me placing the decals on various sections of the car, what I can tell you is that for every sponsor decal you place, whether it be the main or secondary, you will get an additional $25,000 of weekly income. Plus, the longer you keep a particular sponsor decal on, the higher the loyalty you'll generate for that sponsor, which translates to unlocking more perks with them, just like for your main title sponsor. And the total number of decals you can place on a certain section of the car will be determined by your fan rating level. So for right now, we will be able to generate an extra $375,000 of sponsor income. Now that that's been taken care of, let's now head to the personnel department and check in with Andrew.
Welcome to the personnel facility. All the money and technology in the world won't help this team if we don't have the right people in place, and this is where we focus on achieving just that. Obviously, some of the most crucial hires on the team are the drivers, and managing our relationships with both current and future drivers is a big part of what we do here. But the team is much more than just the drivers. Each facility is staffed by experts representing the top of their respective fields, and managing them is also our responsibility. Each of your facilities has a number of staff members. The more staff you have in a facility, the more productive it will be, but the more it will cost to run it. Facilities automatically recruit staff over time up to the current cap, but if you want to limit expenditure, you can reduce that cap. Be aware, reducing the cap to below your current workforce will cause the excess staff to be made redundant. And even if you raise the cap later, it will take time to rehire those roles and get back to the previous staff levels. Beyond that, making a lot of staff redundant in a short space of time can have a chilling effect upon both morale of the remaining staff and hiring rate.
So that was an overview that Andrew gave us of what we can do in the personnel department. Now, let's head to the engineering department and check in with Mathis.
Hey boss, thanks for coming down. First GP's not far away now, and people are starting to roll off the project as we get more and more of the car locked down ahead of our debut race. We can't afford to lose momentum, so we need to start tasking people with work towards our first upgrade package. As it stands, we already have some resource points, data from testing, that we can use to kickstart our research efforts. We just need to know where you want us to start. Let's go pick an upgrade to research. This is where we choose our research projects. Research and development are split into 4 departments: aero, powertrain, chassis, and durability. Pick one of these departments, and let's go choose the first research project you'd like us to tackle.
Here in the engineering facility is where all of the upgrades to the car will be made. The one big change here is that now you have to research a part before you can actually develop it. Hence why it is called Research and Development. The first part that I will have researched will be on the chassis side, and that is the floor stiffening stay positioning. My initial focus plan on the car development will be to try to reduce the overall weight for better handling and also to generate more natural downforce through the corners without having to compromise the aerodynamic setups too much.
Copy that. That feels like a good place to start. I'll get the research team on it.
and our first research task will take about 13 days to complete if nothing goes wrong. Andrew will now tell us about how we can make an improvement to a specific area of a facility.
Okay, this is the facility improvement screen. Here are the improvements you can currently schedule for this facility. You can access the other facilities and explore their improvements from these tabs. Some improvements need us to have completed other improvements first. If an improvement is blocked, it will be listed here, along with information on which improvements we need to complete first in order to unblock it. Each improvement will provide us with an ongoing benefit, but they each also increase the size of that facility. As the facility gets bigger, it will unlock higher levels of that facility, which in turn unlock further improvements for us to pursue.
And that's exactly what I will be doing right away. The first improvement I will make to the engineering facility is the development expansion on the chassis side. What this will do is allow me to develop 2 upgrades at the same time, and this will be huge because I want to make sure that both cars are equal in terms of the number of total upgrades. It will cost $750,000 to start, and in the end, it will increase the staff size of the engineering facility by 9, and it will take 12 days to complete.
Okay, I'll book in a meeting with the contractors and we'll get that started.
The next facility improvement I will make will be in the personnel, and I will choose the pit crew training option. No team would want to lose the race or positions on track because of a slow pit stop. It will cost $1.4 million to start, and it will take a total of 28 days. When it is complete, the staff size of the personnel facility will increase by 10, and the performance of the pit crew will increase by 10%. The final facility improvement I will make will be incorporated with the secondary sponsor team option, and that will cost $1.6 million to begin the work. After it gets completed in 29 days, the corporate staff will increase by 4, and the amount of income that we will receive from the secondary sponsors will increase by 5%. You might have caught a glimpse of when the facilities will move into the next phase. In order for that to happen, the total staff of that specific facility must hit a required number. Now that that's taken care of, we'll now move into the team owner facility. Here, you can view messages your facility leaders send you. The next menu option is the owner training. This is a brand new feature to the My Team career mode, and the one bright spot about this is that you are not set and locked into a specific skill tree after you choose your background. Once you gain a skill point via owner experience points, you can choose to either continue gaining skills in that one tree or spread it around. Finally, Andrew will tell us about the accolades section, as well as another new feature in this mode, the fan rating system, and the team activity calendar.
Your team standing on the grid is measured in 2 ways, fan rating and sentiment. Fan rating is a measure of your team's prestige and history in the sport, and can be increased by completing accolades. Whereas sentiment is more dynamic, a measure of your recent performance both within the current season and looking back to previous seasons. As your fan rating increases, you will earn not only a one-off award for each fan rating level, but also ongoing bonuses that benefit the team. Positive sentiment can unlock more bonuses relative to your fan rating, whereas negative sentiment can temporarily disable bonuses you've earned until your sentiment improves. The combination of fan rating and sentiment will affect many aspects of your career, so keep tabs on them at all times. Accolades are milestones, representing your team's growing history and prestige within the sport. By completing these accolades, you will improve your team's fan rating, which unlocks various bonuses and also affects how the drivers view your team and its prospects. This is your activity schedule. Scheduling activities between race weekends lets you and the various facilities focus on specific areas of productivity. You can select the different facilities in your own schedule over here, and then select an activity for them to pursue. Picking the right people to work on the right thing at the right time can give us an edge when we really need it, so don't overlook the value of activities. You should consider setting some now, if you have time before the next race.
Another big change to the My Team career mode here. You can now schedule activities for each facility instead of selecting just one activity to fill a certain number of days. So I'll start with the Team Owners section, and the first activity I will select will be the Worldwide Franchise Tour. It will cost us $25,000 to run. When this activity gets done in 11 days' time, it will increase the team's fan rating, and also during the activity period, will earn $5,000 per day. So if we do the math, $5,000 a day, an 11-day activity period equals $55,000 earned, minus the $25,000 for running cost equals a net gain of $30,000. The next team owner activity that I will schedule is the department onboarding. What this will do is slightly increase the morale of all 4 R&D departments within the engineering facility, and that activity will run for 10 days. Moving over to the engineering section, the first activity I'll schedule for them is the research focus, and it will cost $15,000 to run. Over the 5-day activity period, an additional 100 resource points will be added per day. At the end of that activity, I'll get an additional 500 points. The next activity for engineering will be the chassis calibration. At a cost of $15,000, this 8-day activity will slightly increase the morale of the chassis department, and also during that time, it will reduce the time taken to research chassis upgrades by 15%. Over to the personnel section of the activity calendar, the first activity for them will be the driver training camp. At a cost of $30,000, this 8-day activity will increase both Aiden and Callie's focus, as well as their perception towards me and the team. The second scheduled activity will be the preseason test sessions. At a cost of $10,000, this 5-day activity will further increase Aiden and Callie's focus. The final personnel activity will be the early driver talks. At a cost of $20,000, this 5-day activity will further increase Aiden and Callie's perception, plus increase the speed of the talks with them when it comes to the point of the season to renegotiate their contracts. And finally, let's schedule some activities for corporate. Activity number 1 will be the accounting push. This will run for 6 days, and at the end of it, we'll get an additional $25,000. Activity number 2 is the short sponsored discovery campaign. At a cost of $15,000 and over a 2-day period, this will give us a chance to discover a new secondary sponsor that we can possibly add to the car later on down the road. Activity number 3 is the driver media tour. At a cost of $10,000, this 5-day activity will increase Aiden and Callie's perception. And the final corporate activity will be the sponsor kickoff gala. At a cost of $20,000, this 6-day activity will increase our title sponsor loyalty, plus also give us another chance of discovering a new secondary sponsor. With everything now set in place on the activity calendar, I'll now advance time to let the activity rewards, weekly sponsor income, and resource points roll in.
We have something for you to look at, please.
So it looks like Mathis needs me to resolve an issue in the engineering facility. I'll take care of that in a bit, but right now I've got enough resource points to kickstart another research project, and this time it will be on the durability side for the improved materials on the gearbox. I forgot to mention that you use resource points for research, and when it is complete, you spend money to develop that part. You'll notice that 3 general wear upgrades have already been applied to my car and other Mercedes-powered teams. Those are the engine supplier upgrades, and they will come in along with the powertrain upgrades at a specific date. Let's now go get that engineering issue resolved. So it looks like they are asking me who should get simulator time. I'm going to select Callie for this one, and I will reveal the reason why I went with that choice at the beginning of the next episode. Now Andrew will tell us about the driver talks feature of the My Team career mode.
So, we're going to need to open talks with drivers for next season. They could be ours, or currently driving for other teams. You should head to the driver comms page to see who you want to consider. This is where we manage our discussions with drivers, both our drivers and other drivers we might be interested in signing in the future. These slots are for our current drivers. We're obviously much closer to these two than anyone else, but it's still an important job each year, figuring out what's important to them and where their long-term aspirations lie. But we also have to be prepared for the future. If we lose one of our drivers, or if we feel we have a better prospect, it's important to have done the groundwork to allow us to negotiate with a new driver. Or more than one. Just be cautious. The more drivers we engage with, the more likely it is that our current drivers will get wind of it, and that can very much affect how they feel about us, and about their future in our team.
This is also a change from the previous My Team career modes from the past. We can now view where the talks currently stand with each of our drivers, and how much time there is before the contract negotiation window opens. The Driver's Market tab now has a perception column added, and so now you can view how each driver is being perceived within their current team. The Driver Lineup tab lets you do a side-by-side comparison of your two driver ratings and see who is better in what category. You also can view their current contracts for the current contract period, and also how they are feeling about your team. We'll now continue to advance time, and right out of the gate we get a notice that the research for the first chassis upgrade has been delayed to March 4th. Not what I wanted, but we'll have to make do. We are continuing to gather more money into the team bank, and also completing activities that I scheduled. And more bad news for us, the research on the durability upgrade has also been delayed to March 9th.
This one's gone according to plan.
Looks like the issue in engineering is resolved. And even more good news that we got is that our first engineering facility improvement is now complete. Mathis will get into more details about developing upgrade once the research is fully complete. Now that I have more resource points, you guessed it, another research project in the pipeline. This time on the aerodynamics side for the front wing adjuster bracket. And that will be scheduled to be completed sometime after the Australian Grand Prix. Next, we'll schedule another engineering facility improvement, this time to the development expansion of the durability. Just like for the chassis, it will cost $750,000, take 12 days to complete, and it will increase the max staff of that facility by 9. Now let's check in on the results of the engineering issue. And thanks to me selecting Callie, her focus has increased. Advancing forward in time now, adding more income and resource points, the research project for the chassis has been completed, as well as more of the scheduled activities. Also, the durability research got completed as well. But as before, the research on the aero got delayed. So Mathis will now explain to us how to develop a part.
Great news. One of our research upgrades is complete. Once we finish researching an upgrade, we can start developing it for one or both of our cars. Head over to the development screen to get started. The research group have delivered us a design, but we need to actually build the thing if it's going to be of any use. And for that, we have the development group. This is where we turn the engineer's dreams into reality. Here's the upgrade we've researched. Select it to start development. So it's up to you whether to kick this development off now or not. But when you do, you'll want to consider how you want to develop it. Certain options won't be available until you've invested a bit more into improving this facility. But the important thing to think about is that you need to develop 2 copies of the part, one for each of your driver's cars. If you only have a single part when you get to a Grand Prix, you'll need to visit the Assign Upgrades area to decide which driver's car to prioritize.
And thanks to the development expansion improvement that I made for the chassis department, I can develop 2 single copies of this upgrade for both cars. Each one will cost $310,000 and will be completed before the Japanese Grand Prix, provided that there won't be any failures or delays. And now we are fully set to make our Formula One debut for the 2025 season. And as I end things off here, I'm going to leave you with the full grid reveal of all 11 teams. If you are new to my channel, please get subscribed and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any new uploaded videos. Take care everyone, and I'll meet you next time in Melbourne, Australia.